What's up, everybody? My name is Juwan Rohan, and this is the Misguided Podcast. We're intend to guide you to a better future. I'm sitting here with J.Lately, a musician from the Bay Area. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing? It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm living, man. I'm living. It's been a little bit busy right now. I gotta head to work soon. I'm a realtor, so stuff is crazy right now with real estate, and yeah,
Damn,
it's
I
been busy.
I might need to talk to you about that at some point. I've been starting to look into some, trying to find a house to buy, man.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, cause yeah, you just got married, correct?
I did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Yeah. Next step is a house, man. Hit me up. Hit
Right.
me up. It's crazy because right now, like the only thing that's winning in this crazy market is like all cash offers. And that's the reason I
Okay,
chose to work with my company, Fly Homes. They're a new startup and stuff, but they provide that like all cash offer for people. And that's why a lot of people are finding us and using us is for that. So yeah, man, hit me up, bro. We'll
yeah.
talk offline. But
Word.
cool. So yeah, um, let's go ahead and get into your story for a lot of people who don't know. You are from the Bay Area. You've been doing music for a while now, man. I think I heard of you like possibly 5 years ago,
Mhm.
but a while ago, right? And I kind of been seeing your progression through music, right? And you're so slept on. I'm gonna be honest, you're slept on, man. Like your flow is so laid back with like Bay Area. You got like a lot of different musical influence, you
For
know.
sure.
So let's go ahead. Where in the Bay Area are you from?
Word. So I was born in Oakland, but I only lived in Oakland till I was 5 years old, and then my family moved to Sebastopol, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but up near
I
like
know,
Santa
yeah,
Rosa area. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. So like for anyone who doesn't know, though, it's a little small town, like an hour north of the Bay Area, or of Oakland, basically. So I grew up in Sebastopol from age 5 to 18, and then I went to college down in Southern California, near LA. So I was down there for 4 years, and then after that, I moved back to Oakland, and I've been living in Oakland since then. So kind of a mix between Oakland and Sebastopol. Like my young formative years, I feel like we're in Sebastopol, and my older formative years were in Oakland,
Yeah.
with a little stint down in LA as
Yeah.
well.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I know where Sebastopol is. And um, it's totally different than Oakland, right? So
very much.
it's like if you're being in all honest, it's totally different cultures, right? And so
Big time.
how is that transition for you? I know the transition from 5 years old wasn't maybe that impactful, but what
Right.
about when you came back to Oakland? Did you kind of have to adjust and everything?
Yeah, it was a big adjustment, but it was something that like an adjustment that I was desiring at the time. I think
Mm,
Sebastopol was such a great place to be a young little kid. It's very kind of more countryside or more like yeah, I guess more countryside. There's just hella room to
yeah.
play and
Yeah.
big, like you run through the trees and the
Hella
forests and
outdoor
shit like
stuff.
that.
Like you
Hella
can't do
outdoor stuff.
outdoor stuff in Oakland. It's all
Right.
indoor or it's yeah. So
So that was awesome to be a kid there. But then I think when I started getting around, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I
hmm
started feeling so like confined in this little town and this kind of little bubble. And I wanted to break out so much more and see the rest of the world and
yeah,
yada,
yeah.
yada. So Oakland was a big eye opener for me, but it was also like an eye opener that I was looking for. I was tired of kind of just being in this little bubble. And when I first moved to Oakland, actually, I came back after college and became a teacher in Oakland. I was a high school PE teacher in Oakland, and so that was a huge. It was kind of two things in one. It was like a huge mind opener just to be a teacher in the Oakland Public School District, especially like the high school system, and just see all the issues that were going on there, and then also to kind of immerse myself as just like a person into was what was to being offered in Oakland and in the surrounding areas that like I just I was only an hour away before as like
Yeah.
as a teenager, but it felt like I lived so far away
So
from all
far,
this shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the cultures are totally different. And
Yeah.
as a teacher, you really see, the students coming in and needing help. And as opposed to where you were in Sebastopol, or I always forget how to say that name,
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, sir.
um it's totally different, right? And your school systems are different. They're taken care of more. So
For
yeah,
sure.
that's interesting and definitely eye-opening. eye-opening. When did you stop being a teacher?
I taught for like 5 years.
So, okay.
But so that I forget, I don't even know at this point. Maybe 5 years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
That's cool.
So
And that's when you like were really starting to release a lot of music, right? Like I saw your music goes all the way back to 2012. I mean, obviously you're doing this since, 2009, but your music goes so far back, but like that's when you kind of were like developing yourself, right? As an artist.
yeah, very much so. I mean, I think a big thing for me is that like for a long time I didn't believe I was going to be a rapper or get to be a rapper as a
Hmm.
profession or as something that I pursued for the rest of my life because of growing up somewhere like Sebastopol, because of never seeing none of my friends, none of my older brother's friends, no one was a successful rapper from up there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
knowing this, and I kind of believed like, why does anyone want to hear me listen to me talk as a rapper from Sebastopol? Like this isn't what
Because no
people
one
talk
knows
about
where
in
it's
rap
where
songs.
it's at.
No one knows where it's at, and it's a different. I have a different experience than what I was hearing people talk about in rap songs at that
Yep.
time. Like all my heroes were talking about different shit than I was living, right? So
Yeah.
I was kind of like, why does anyone want to hear me be a rapper? So I went to college. I had all these intentions after college of going into education, being a teacher, and basically more or less staying in like the education realm for the rest of my life, kind of. And I was just doing music because it was something I loved, but really didn't believe that I could ever do it. And then when I came to Oakland, I really kind of like felt, I guess at the very end of my college career and the very beginning of when I came to Oakland, like I was experiencing some good luck, I guess, with where my music was landing and like how some of my releases were coming out. And I was like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
people are hearing this, people are reacting well, like maybe I should try to do this more. And it just kind of slowly transitioned into me being like, oh wow, like I actually have people listening
Yeah.
and I love the hell out of this. Like this, I
Yeah.
love, it was a
That's
mix
the
of
most
both.
important thing right there. You gotta love what you
Yeah.
do. So yeah, I mean, around this time when you were starting, when you came back from LA, um, there were people from the Bay Area that music was doing really well, right? Like the Bay Area was on the map. So who were some of those influences from the Bay Area and those rappers that you were kind of like aspiring after?
For sure. At that time, like, I mean, I guess always a huge one for me has been Zion I.
Yes, yes.
Like that, right? I feel like there was a period during high school where I was just listening to whatever was on the radio, right? And then there was then like this is gonna date me back hella long, but I feel like that was right when it was like right when like Napster and LimeWire and all these like
Yeah.
internet radio stations were first starting to pop up for the first time and shit.
Yep.
And like I heard Zion I through that and just like fell in love with the True and Living album.
Uh-huh.
And I saw him at like paid dues right about that time was when I was starting to like really go to concerts and festivals and shit like that. And um, so to me, he was like fucking their group was like one of the at the top for me right then. And
Yeah.
and so they were definitely someone. Um, and I think he was so big for me because I heard him talking in different ways than I had heard a lot of people talking in rap music before. And he
Hmm.
was talking about a lot of different things. And I was like, it was one of the groups for me that I was like, oh shit, there's all these different ways that this can be done. Like
Yeah.
this isn't a monoculture here. This is like this is a huge culture filled with all types of ways to do things.
For me, what really stuck out with them is their beats, man. Their just production was like totally
Hmm.
next level. Like I forgot that one song, but it was like I'm trying to look it up right now. I forgot this one song, but it was like one of my favorite songs by them, and their beat was just stuck in my head all the time. I'll find it by the end of this
Uh-huh.
interview,
Okay.
but
For sure. Yeah.
no, I mean, there was a lot of people, man. I mean, like, it's crazy. I went to Berkeley High, right? So
Okay.
when I was at Berkeley High, our prom, G-Eazy had performed at our prom, right? We had a chance to pick who we wanted. It was like Too Short, G-Eazy, and I picked Too Short, but a lot of people was like, nah, let's get G-Eazy. And we had G-Eazy. And I was like, who is this guy? Like
Uh-huh.
he is not that good like back then, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, why is he performing? And then he performed. And then maybe like 3 years later, I gave him like another listen. I was like, oh, I like his music a lot. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like, you really don't see these artists until like you're forced to see them in a certain way,
Right.
right? Like, and it's just cool, like knowing there's so much culture around Oakland, Berkeley, anywhere in the Bay Area, really, right?
Yeah.
And people, from different parts of the Bay Area have different experiences, right?
Big time.
Within
It's
music.
it's crazy to me how many of my friends who actually like went to high school in the Bay Area, like every single one of my friends who actually went to high school in the Bay Area, damn near went to school with like some amazing
Right?
artist. Like
Yeah.
or their older brother is best friends with so and so, or like
Yeah.
it's just everyone went to these fucking high schools together. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
the fucking breadth of talent in this area. You know what I mean?
It really is. It really is. And it's so cool like watching it. Like I was there when like the pack and everyone, was around and like
Yeah.
friends all in the group and like just seeing them be be like the little 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids on high school campus and having these hits.
Right.
It's just kind of cool. But yeah, no, I love to hear like the journey. Where'd you get the name from, J.Lately?
So it's just a name that, I came up with myself, but it was through a lot of thought. My whole thing was I didn't want my name prior to this was Germs. So my real name is Jeremy,
With a G, like
and
germs with a G or a J?
with a J. Because so my real name is Jeremy. So a lot of my friends would call me Germs just as
Uh-huh.
like a
Uh-huh.
short for Jeremy. So that's what I started with as my name. And then a little while after that, I was like, I don't really like the connotations. Like if someone hears the name Germs before they even see or listen to my music, they already
Yeah.
have ideas in their head about what my music should be, right? Um, and like I'm not like a grimy dude. Like my music is not grimy. Is not like
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like there's certain rappers where the name Germs could really work for, and they're like fucking spitting bars, and they're all like grimy and
Yeah.
shit or whatever. That's not me really. And so I was like, damn, this the association you hear when you hear that name isn't really what I'm giving
You
you or
think
who I
almost like
am.
a battle rapper, like an Eminem type of 8 Mile
Right.
thing, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Something like that. It could work perfect for. I
Yeah.
was just using it because it was actually my nickname, but like people were just using it as my, like Jeremy. So then long story short, the way I came to J.Lately is basically I wanted a name that doesn't define me too much before you hear my music. My whole goal is I want you know what I mean? Like my name is Jeremy. You hear Jeremy, well, you don't know shit about me. You still got to get to know me. You got to learn my personality. You got to see my actions to really know who Jeremy is, right? I
Yep.
want it to be the same with J.Lately with my music. Like my name isn't going to tell you who I am. You need to listen to my music and understand what I'm telling you and listen to the story to figure out who I actually am. But the whole reason behind J.Lately is to remind you or to remind myself that this is just me lately. These things, this is where I'm at right now, whatever I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be different than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Like ideally, I haven't stayed the same since the last time you heard me.
Yeah.
Ideally, and if I have, in my opinion, I've been wasting my time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
So your
should be
music, your
learning
music
something.
is changing as you're changing and growing and
Exactly.
experiencing different stuff, right?
And if we go through a year in our life without in some way changing the way we look at the world or in some way changing the way we look at ourselves, I think of that as a year wasted because
Yeah.
I haven't figured out the world yet and I haven't figured out myself yet. So I should be constantly working to do a better job of figuring out those things.
I totally agree, and I think environment plays a big factor in this, right? Like, for me, it was very important. So growing up in Berkeley, my whole life, all throughout my childhood, that's what raised me, and when it's either two options, right? You stay in Berkeley, or and you do college out here, or you go somewhere else and you learn something else. For me, it was like I need to get the hell out of Berkeley, right? I need to. I played basketball at Berkeley High, so I had opportunities to go and play college basketball. And I was like, I'm not doing it nowhere in the Bay Area, right? So I took my ass to Colorado, and I was like, I need to experience something different. And
Sure.
honestly, that's the reason I am where I am today and who I am is because that opened my mind to a lot of different things in life. Like there's a lot of stuff I did not know just staying in Berkeley. And so I think
For sure.
environment is super important when you're changing, right? And so the reason I bring that up is because I want to ask, like, did you see any change in yourself? And if you did, what changes from when you went to LA and then came back to Oakland?
Yeah. I mean, I think LA was the first time that I had ever, it was kind of like what you're saying. That was me leaving the nest, or like the little
Yep.
town or whatever. You know what I mean? That was my first time really outside of Sebastopol. So I think it just gave me, I think it, it was when I was 18 years old. So there were just natural changes going on anyways of me,
Yeah.
growing up and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of like what you're saying, it just opened my mind to what's out there. And I think it was my first time to really, where I felt like I could really like engage with all this shit. Like I was in the Inland Empire, which is like 45 minutes east of LA or
Hmm.
whatever. But just like I had a car, and so me and my friends could go fucking wherever we wanted on the weekend. It felt like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
LA is full of everything we'd always heard about. And
Yeah.
so to be able to just like engage, like I went to more shows that first year of college in LA, like hip hop shows, than I've ever been into in my life, because I was just like, holy shit, like there's
That's because
no
there's
parent.
one every night out
There's
there.
one every night. We have a car, and
Uh-huh.
like I have friends right here.
Yeah.
Like, let's fucking go. So I think it just kind of like sparked my desire for, or like passion for all. It was huge time for me musically, like just to be able to engage with all this like music and events and art shows and all this shit. For me was just like, damn, there's all this shit out here, kind of. And it just made me be like, shit, I want to be a part of, like, I need to figure out how
Hmm.
to be a part of all this stuff. Because like one interesting thing is like the way you were saying, like in Berkeley, going to high school at Berkeley, you're seeing all these people come through who are doing things, and you're seeing all this cool shit. I didn't really have that around me that much. I was seeing that on the TV or on the
Yeah.
radio or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and like, oh, this shit's cool, but it doesn't happen here, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
LA was my first time where I was like, oh, it's happening right there. Like
Like
I'm
it's
hopping in
possible.
my car and I'm
Hmm.
going there tonight with my friends, and like, oh shit, we get to grab a mic and we get to, you know what I mean? And oh shit, there's a studio session I just got invited to, and this and that. All this shit, it was just hella cool for me to be able to have all that like at my fingertips, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real. I feel it. What at an early age, what would you have done differently introducing yourself to the music industry, right? Would you have started earlier? Would you have came out instead of Germs as J.Lately? Like, how would you have introduced yourself differently to the music scene?
I think the only thing, if I really could nowadays, like, we can never change history, right? And we can never say, sometimes I think like, do I regret certain choices I've made? For instance, like really pursuing a career outside of music for a while. Like I
Hmm.
was going to college trying to get degrees that were going to allow me to get jobs. You know what I mean? Like, and then coming out of college and getting jobs, that took a lot of my time. But I think I've learned so much from those processes. Like, it's hard to say that I could have done anything different and gotten to where I am today, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I think my road was a little bit of a slower one and a longer one, and I needed these things to take place because I hadn't been brought up around this stuff, like in this culture and around these activities, and I needed to dive in kind of a lot more and make myself familiar and grow and learn and all these things. But aside from all that, I think the one thing that I look back on and wish I had been a little bit different mentally about from the start was just a little more confident in myself. Like this
Hmm.
idea of like, oh, it could never be me. I'm not supposed to be a rapper. I'm just here to watch and be a guest and kind of fuck around. You know what I mean? But like, it's
Yep.
never going to be me. I wish I had changed that mentality a little bit earlier. Um, and just some opportunities. Like I was doing really well right at the end of college and beginning out of college.
Hmm.
And I didn't really realize it. Like I was mentally holding myself back, like, oh yeah, they fuck with me, but like this is never gonna work. So,
Yeah.
let's go back to work type of shit. And I wish a little bit more. There were times where I had a little bit more of that, sometimes I call it blind confidence. I don't know if it's necessarily blind confidence, but a little
Yeah.
more just faith in
That
myself.
more like chip on your shoulder type of
Right.
feeling.
I was just kind of happy to be here, and like, yo, I don't think it's gonna
Thanks
happen,
for
but I'm
inviting me
happy
to
to
the
be here.
cookout. Like,
You know what I mean? Right. And
yeah.
I look back a little bit now, like, yo, I kind of slept on myself a little bit at times when I could have been like, yo, this is a moment right here that I need to take advantage of, you know?
Yeah. No, I asked that question because, in today's hip hop culture, there are people who it's all based on the image. Like it's always been about the image and not necessarily how good you are as an artist. Like we can all
Sure.
say that, right?
Sure.
And
I'll say it
so
matters. It matters heavily.
yeah, matters,
The
right?
image matters
From the label perspective,
for
okay?
sure. For
So
sure.
like a lot of these artists nowadays, they're going into these blinded, right? Like they're like, okay, I need to dye my hair, red, right? And have dreads, and now I gotta go tat it up and right, and just like it's all about the image. And so that's why I asked, is because like thinking back, it's like, okay, now we know like what the greats have done, right? So like, I mean, not greats, but like people who have made uh made an impact on the culture. Soldier Boy, right? Coming out doing the first YouTube vlogs and like just being
Right.
different, right? And so that's why I always look back like, damn, where could I have, you know, progressed and just changed a little bit. And I know there's like that always cliche answer, which like you answered in the beginning, but like
Right.
I wouldn't change anything, right?
Right.
Because it is who I am today, right? But
Yeah.
then there's like little things you can tweak, which I believe can still lead up to who you are today, right?
Yep.
Or would have progressed you a little bit faster, right? So
For sure.
you can still be who you are, but now instead of having this amount of views on your video, now you have this amount of views, right? Just because
Right.
that one tweak. So it's
Right.
always it's
Right.
tricky, and it's just like it's super interesting to think about and talk about.
Yeah. No, I think I from the start I had, and this is still something I carry with myself, but it's something that I've kind of I battle with a little bit, is this idea of like, yeah, I could be doing something other than music, right? I've been blessed with
Yeah.
a life that has allowed me to be educated and to be taken, financially taken care of up as a kid, and get all these opportunities where now I can go financially take care of myself, right? Like I
Yeah.
have a college degree, I have job opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. So I've always told myself, if I am going to do music, I want to do it in a way that I want to do. Like I'm not going to come into music and treat it like a fucking job where I am selling a product that isn't me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to do this, I want to do it the way that I feel confident and comfortable with. Otherwise, let me just go work a different day job where
So
I don't
like
need
in
to
other
sell
words, you're
myself.
not in it for the money, you're in it for the love. Like
Well, I am in it for the money, but only if I get to do it in a way I love, right?
yeah, because once it starts becoming a job, is like
Then I might as well go do another job that has a way better, way more security, way better retirement plan,
401, like
all that shit, right? If
yeah,
this is going to be just a job, there's other better just jobs for me out there.
yeah,
But if this can be a job and something I love, then this is the best thing in the world. So, but there's been times where I've kind of like had that with a chip on my shoulder, almost a little bit too much. I think like, no, I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to have to present myself that way. I don't want to have to like, I don't want to be I don't want this to be gimmicky. I don't want to. But what I've learned too, as I've gone on, is like, yo, this is a job. I am making and trying to make money off this shit. Like I'm selling something.
Mhm.
And it's a little bit of a mind fuck, because the thing that I'm selling is myself.
I was gonna say,
But
yeah.
but I am like I would be delusional to think that I'm not selling myself to people. Now, the whole thing I'm always trying to figure out is how to sell myself in a way that I feel really comfortable and good and genuine about. But there's been times where I've held myself back from even selling myself, because I've said, yo, I'm in this for the love, right? I'm
Yeah.
in this for this. And it's like, no, you still gotta sell yourself a little bit. Like you need to, like, like that's kind of the ways that I've held myself back, I think, over the years a little bit, is just not being willing to like really recognize that I'm out here, I am selling myself,
Yeah, yeah,
I just
yeah.
need to keep coming up with ways that I feel really comfortable about doing it, and I feel like I'm sharing my genuine self. But that's fucking what every single person is doing out here.
Yeah, no, facts. That's true. So I think I was reading. You have a degree in psychology, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I have a degree in psychology too. So
That's what's up.
what was I love psychology? What was the pivotal moment in your career where you were like, okay, I'm gonna leave this degree. I'm gonna put this on the shelf, and I'm actually gonna focus on music? Because for me, like I'm a musician, right? I don't know if you know, but like. I haven't ever been able to like separate, right? Like I just do music just for me. Like fuck what, like it's venting, right? I
Right.
haven't ever been able to be like, okay, I'm gonna hang up this and just really focus on music.
For sure.
When did you make that decision?
It's been a slow process, but I think the time in my mind where it really clicked, like, yo, this is what I want to do, and fuck this job. It was when I was teaching
Okay.
in the first couple years of teaching. I got an opportunity to go on tour with my homies Tracy and Player Ray.
Okay.
They were doing these like kind of weekend tours where they would do like it would be maybe like a 12 show tour, but they would do like 3 shows each weekend, and then they would come home. So they would go do like a little Southern California run and then come home. So they invited me to come along and open up, and basically I just help sell their merch, sleep on the floor, get to rock, get a free seat in the van and get to rock a little 15-20 minute set every night. And I was like, fuck you. Like I would love to do that, Yeah. So we would go out. Basically, I would take like every Friday off of work. And so like I would work all day, Monday through Thursday. Thursday evening, I would hop off work. I would run over at like 4 o'clock, hop in their van. We would mob somewhere, do a show Thursday, Friday, Saturday, drive home all day Sunday. I would get home at like, 9 p.m. Sunday, go to sleep, wake up the next Monday and just go right back to fucking work.
Yeah.
And what I realized, well, first it was hella fun. It just felt like what I should be doing, like being on the road, doing shows, traveling, all this shit was just like the mix of what made me happy. It felt like.
Yeah.
But then I also noticed that like, we would be waking up at like 6 a.m. after like 3 hours of sleep to hop back in the car and drive 10 hours to the next show. And I'd be happy as fuck. Like I'd be waking up at 6 a.m. with a smile on my face, ready to go, And then I would get home and I would wake up, like the high school I worked at was right down the street from me. So I could wake up at like 8 a.m., hop in the shower real quick, grab my shit, go, and I'd be down there on time, 8:30, right. And I'd be waking up at 8 a.m. after a night of like 9 hours of sleep, just fucking like bummed out that I was going to do this. And I actually liked my job, or I thought I liked my job. Like I thought my job teaching high school was a good job. If I got fulfillment out of it, there was a bunch of kids I liked, there's a bunch of coworkers I liked. So I thought it was a good job. And then to see the difference of how I felt every morning waking up on no sleep to go do this other job that was way better, I was like, oh shit, this is what I need to be doing. Like I need to be in doing music. Like there's something about I feel like that you have a different task every day. Kind of everything feels productive in your day, whether you're touring, whether you're recording, whether you're driving somewhere, it's just, there was just so much I loved about it that I think in my mind, I was like, yo, like if there's any way that I can do this as my career, like this has clearly shown me this is what I should be doing.
Let's talk about like how you feel on the stage, right? Because for me, it's like, dude, when I get on the stage and you're rapping to people, it's like everything else in the world is just like on pause, right? It's like, and I don't feel any shyness. Like, how are you on stage? Are you like, yeah, like how does that feel? Like I want to know.
I experienced that what you just said about the shyness thing. I experienced big time. Like,
oh, really?
have that same experience where I lose it. I'm a super shy guy. I'm a very reserved guy. Other than like in one-on-one or small group situations, I'm cool. Yada yada. But in like big group situations, I'm a pretty shy guy. I don't really put myself out there too much like that. I played basketball all through high school and college actually, and that was always kind of my relief. On the basketball court is when I would feel the same way that I do on stage a little
Same
bit.
here. I was gonna say
the
that.
Whole, like everything else disappears and you just get to be in a moment.
Yep.
And you just get to be so locked into that moment. And I think for me, that feeling has always been so freeing because other than that time, I'm thinking about so many fucking things. Like I do have a little bit of anxiety. I do have a little bit of like, so I'm sitting there thinking usually so much about like, yo, what do they think? What do they think? Did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? What should I be doing? Blah, blah, blah. When I'm on the stage or when I'm on the basketball court, like you don't even have time to think about that.
Nah,
and it's
almost
like like being locked into like a really successful level of meditation or some shit, or like really hitting that zone where like nothing from the outside that doesn't concern you at this moment is even in your realm. And so that's what's being on stage. Like I have hella people who kind of wonder, and I used to wonder like, yo, how the fuck do you get up on stage in front of 500 people and go hard like that and then get in a group of 20 people and don't say shit? You know what I mean? But it's like, it just feels like that time for me where I do get to be louder than myself. I do get to be outside of my own body a little bit, outside of my own skin a little bit. And it's like such a freeing feeling for me because I spend the rest of my life kind of inside my
It's
mind.
almost like a different you. It's almost like the Batman and, Clark, or not Batman, Superman and Clark Kent. Like
Sure.
it's different,
I feel
right?
like it's like the unrestricted you. It's
Yeah.
me without myself setting fucking blocking myself in with in my head, kind of,
Ooh, it's you without like the mental, right? The mental block.
Sure.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
you're free from like the chip in you.
Right,
But
right. Or from like your own limitations that you set on yourself or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that
that's
kind
true. I
of.
never
Yeah.
really looked at it like that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Some of like the best and like the best shows are like the Tuesday and Thursday nights. Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
Like, because those are the core crowd that is gonna go out to your show while they work the next day and turn the fuck up, right? It's like
Sure.
that core group. I love the Tuesdays and Thursdays, and a lot of people don't like really, they're like, can I get a Friday show, right? And
Yeah.
now you gotta like, I don't know. It's a huge difference, but
For sure. If people like getting drunk and fucking around every night of the week. They
yeah,
just, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
sometimes on those Tuesday nights, like they're just so happy that they have somewhere cool to go party
Yeah,
that like it
like
can turn into a beautiful moment, you know?
yeah. I agree. Some of the Tuesday and Thursdays are like super cool for underground artists.
Mhm.
What have been some of your favorite shows?
Damn.
I saw the
It's hard to
Santa
say.
Cruz one, I think a while ago, but that shit was packed. I think it's
Yeah,
Santa
I did.
Cruz.
Yeah. There was a Sanders. I so like right before the pandemic for about a year there, I was touring around with Andre Nicotina and opening for him
Yep.
a lot of the time. And that was a really cool experience for me. Just, I mean, for one, the fact that his shows are so fucking packed and they're a party, and that shit was just hella fun.
Yeah.
Also, just having the opportunity to open for a legend like that. So that whole run was super fun because it was just like party shows. Whereas I've done a lot of tours in the past where it's a lot more like kind of like lyrical
I was gonna ask,
conscious
like,
tours.
your music isn't party music, right? Like, would you, like it's more of
Not
like
right, but it's also I don't think it's also necessarily like stereotypical conscious music either. There's
no,
somewhere
yeah,
weird that I fit that's in the middle, and so I end up on tour with Zion I and Locksmith and real lyrical conscious rappers. Not that Locksmith's just like super conscious, but they're like one side of like lyrical underground, and then I also end up like in like weed smoking, partying,
yeah,
drinking
turned
shit
up
too,
shit.
and I fit into both. So that's what was so cool about the Andre Nicotina tours, because I was prior to that I had been on tour with Locksmith and Zion I like the couple years before, and so that it was just interesting to get to rock it was a different crowd.
Yeah,
It was definitely a different show, and so being able to jump back and forth and kind of change my set and change the way I'm doing these things. So
it
that was a
helps you
lot
as
of
an
fun.
artist. It helps you like know what certain groups like, and just kind of helps you as a performer, right?
Big time. And then
Yeah,
I even like figured out songs like that I would have never performed before at a more conscious lyrical show,
hmm,
but we're killing it at the Nicotina show. And I was like, yo, I don't know why I'm not performing this every single fucking night. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like things like that, and kind of figure out what people respond to and all that.
yeah,
But going back to your question of my favorite shows, a lot of them are actually those random ass small towns on those
yes,
random nights
yeah,
that I thought were gonna suck or was
yep,
scared were gonna suck, and turned out to be so fucking cool. And even if some of them were just 75 people in the crowd, there's been nights where there's 75 people in the crowd and 30 of those people came up and bought a sweatshirt from me afterwards. And there's been nights where there was 1,000 people in the crowd and no
and
one
two,
came and talked to
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so it's those nights where you feel like you really do have a connection with the people that are there, no matter how many are there. Like when you feel like it's almost like I think about it like cooking sometimes. I think like chef, or even if you're cooking for your family, like when you cook for a group of people and they like it, and you're like nourishing them and you make them feel good, it's like a really fulfilling feeling for you.
yeah,
And it's the same
absolutely,
thing with being a rapper. Like when I'm on stage and I can tell there's like some people there who needed that night in their life.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I needed this experience. This really was good for me tonight. Like when I have that, when I can see that happening to people in the crowd while I'm rapping, it's like one of the best feelings ever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
it's just like, and you probably experienced this, like I'll get DMs sometimes from people who listen to my music and they're like, yo, like I've been battling this, I've been,
right,
depression, like I've been contemplating suicide and your music has helped me. And you're like,
right,
wait, bro, like no one in the world knows me yet. My music is
right.
helping you. Like I'm not signed, like you feel me? I just do
Yeah,
music, like, just to do
yeah,
it. And so like getting those messages, it's like that cooking feeling. It's like you're
right.
nourishing something. And it's like, yeah, like how does that make you feel?
Honestly, that's the best thing in the world to me, to feel like through music I can at least do good for someone else. Because at
Absolutely.
the end of the day, the reason I've chosen to do this is for myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing this
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it makes me feel better. I'm doing this because it honestly makes me way happier. Now I hope, or I rationalize in my mind, I rationalize that by saying if I'm a happier person, I'm going to be nicer, I'm going to treat others better, et cetera, et cetera. But when you actually get to see it not just be a self-serving thing,
Yeah.
it makes me feel so much better. Like, yo, okay, at least I'm like, I know I'm doing this for myself, but at least some people are getting other benefits from
Yeah.
this. Like at least it just makes me feel less selfish about my time. Cause like
Facts. Facts.
it is it's a really self-focused thing. Like you kind of have to be selfish to do this shit a little bit, you know? And so it's rewarding to see. It makes me feel so much better that like when I can be like, yo, I actually it feels like I actually help some other people here too, you know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I respect it. Cool. Like, cool. I want to move on to the segment called the Hella Misguided segment, where I ask the same question to each person who comes up here. And pretty much the purpose is to, well, the question is if you were to write a letter to your 18-year-old self, what would be a summary of that letter?
I think there would be two messages that I would tell my 18-year-old self or want to like get across to them.
Okay.
One would be like just like trust it, like good job, just trust yourself, like don't be so fucking stressed.
Instilling confidence.
Yeah, like instilling confidence, and just not just confidence, like I think it's more like instilling acceptance, like just like just feel okay to be yourself. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
don't feel this need to try to be anyone else. Like just continue being yourself and finding yourself, because
So
like there's
confidence,
something
like within
special there.
self-esteem, right? Self-esteem.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. I think so. And then the other thing, though, I guess is another type of confidence a little bit, is like, yo, go crazy. Like just go fucking crazy. Like I think I've always been someone who does think there are certain things out there that I'm not allowed to do or others aren't allowed to do, or not everyone gets to X, Y, and Z, or
Yeah.
etc. And I think the older I've gotten is I've learned, like, no, everyone who makes it happen does get to go do whatever the fuck. Like it's sure, there's circumstantial things, all that shit that put us in a lot, block us from doing everything we want to do with our lives. But so much of that is mental. Like, just go do whatever the fuck you want to do. Go try it out. If you fuck up for a year of your life, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, you know what I mean? Go move to Colorado and try to be a fucking
Mm-hmm.
start a barbecue pit out there. If that's what you want to do, go fucking do it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, all that you've lost, you've just gained a year of experience in something, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
you've also found out that that's not what you want to do, or that it doesn't work there. And then you, like, instead of being like, oh, I have to make the right move right now for what I'm going to be doing at the age of 50, like, to the move I make tomorrow, and I just wish I had this little more idea of like, no, fuck it, go try whatever I want to do, go live your life, and just like explore and experiment and try all this shit and go crazy a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
go for it.
Dude, so I have like a very similar like message because like me growing up, right? I like played basketball my whole life. Basketball is everything. Like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? And so um like realizing that the things that you're doing over time are not really where you're gonna end up. And what I
Right.
mean is like, basketball is my whole life, right? And then in college, I started to realize like basketball is not only life. Like there's so much out there, right? First of all, I'm 5'9", 165 pounds. I'm not going to the NBA, bro. Like get that in your head. So after college, you know, I went overseas, did this little USA basketball thing for a little bit, came back and was like, all right, my second backup plan was like, all right, I'm gonna, you know, be an FBI agent. I had this dream like as a kid, like since I was 5, like it was basketball and an FBI agent. Like, I don't know. And so, that's why I studied psychology, because I wanted to do criminal justice, but they didn't have this. So I was like psychology. So then I start like applying to police forces and everything. And I'm in these interviews and I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I bombed some of them, like literally on the spot. Like, what am I doing? So then I get out, I go do construction for a year, and I'm like, I got to figure out what the fuck I want to do. Like, I want to do music, like, but is it too late? Like, am I, you know, I'm 22, 23, like, you know, people listen to my music, but I have no huge following from music, right? The following is just personality wise, right? Like,
right.
And so
relationships
it's like,
and shit.
Like, what the fuck do I do? And so I try the music thing, right? And I'm just doing music, but then I'm like, I'm realizing like, oh, like the music is more for me. It's not, you know, it's not for other people to listen. Like it's more of like a release for me. And then I just started finding shit, right? And then once the entrepreneur shit happened, like once that clicked in my head, it was like, oh, I found it. I found what I want. Like, and so I went through all those fucking trials and tribulations just to get to somewhere where I didn't even dream of. Right.
But I think also, you know, a lot of those, like those trials and tribulations are necessary. You don't just get to this conclusion that you came to without an experience.
You can't just pick it, right? Like I'm just gonna do entrepreneurship, because once you pick it, then you're probably not gonna do that thing. Like it's like, that's not gonna happen. But no, you're absolutely right. And it's just like you wonder like, what's an easy way to go about it, right? What's an easy way to pick that thing without just doing hella different things? Is it possible? What do you think?
I don't think it's possible. I think that every single person, or not every single person, but I think most people who are like in some sort of either like creative or entrepreneurial field or whatever, have been through hellish shit to get to where they're at right now.
Absolutely.
And have tried and failed, or have started to try and then ran away from, or et cetera, all these things in order to get to where they're at and figure out how to do it in the way that they want to do it, or how to do it in the way that's right and works. And I think like, I think that's a hella common experience for all of us. I think we all kind of think like, oh, it's just me that like, this took hella long to figure out how I should be doing it.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, even like, you know, I don't know G-Eazy personally, but I would say maybe someone like him, sure, he might have been focusing on music since the age he was 14 as like his main fucking thing. But I would say he even tried multiple things in the music, in his music, until it clicked for him. Until it really clicked for him. And maybe that's why you didn't fuck with him so much when he came and performed at your prom, because he was still in his exploratory phase, figuring out what was right for him and what was, I don't know, this is just a theory, you know what I mean, or what a hypothetical.
It matches up with his story, because when he came and performed, he was at New Orleans in college, right, when he started to open up for like Lil Wayne and Drake. Like that was the moment. And so obviously he's trying shit. No one really fucked with him in Berkeley when he was in high school, you know. So it's like,
so even though it might seem like someone like him has been doing this whole life, and why couldn't we be like him and just figure it out in 10th grade that this is what we're going to do with our life? But once he figured out that he was going to do with his life, he still had hella shit to figure out. He still had hella trials and tribulations. So I think it's a story for all of us. When we finally feel like we've made it to that spot, it's because we've gone through shit that's gotten us there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No. I feel it. Cool. All right. Well, I want to talk about like business, right? The business in music. How are you setting yourself up to build wealth through this music industry?
Two ways mainly is that, so for one thing, I'm keeping ownership of like the majority of my shit, like very much keeping ownership. I I invest, I am my main investor. I think
Mhm.
when you involve other people's money a lot, then you really have to take into like just label, like for instance, label wise in the music industry, basically one of the main things the label does is provide you with your funding, right?
Mhm.
And just for that, then they fuck you over on all the money that's coming back in for the most part.
Mhm.
So if you can figure out how to not need to ask a label for money, now they don't get to take more of it than they're supposed to take when it comes back, or own, you know,
Yeah.
this and that when it comes
Two
back. So
two questions to piggyback
yeah.
off of that. One is, are you signed? I was kind of confused about that. And then second one is, who does your beats? Because that's another part that you would have to pay someone, right? Or producing. Do you do all that stuff?
No, so well, so for in terms of being signed, I'm not actually signed to the label. I have my own independent label called the Unusual Suspects Company that I run all my stuff through. Now, I've had over the past, 8 years, two different distribution deals that I've been signed to. So
Those are
basically,
way different and they're way better for artists, for those who don't
way
know.
different. They basically all these people are doing is taking my music and getting it into every outlet and every placement that it needs to be in. They don't give me any money to make the music. They don't give me any money to create the promotion. They don't promote for me. I do all that shit myself. But then the percentage that they take back of all my profits is so small compared to what a typical label would take back from all your profits, you know?
Yep.
So that's one way that I've managed to maintain a lot of ownership and just a lot of autonomy in my music.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's one thing for sure. That going like you're saying about beats. I mean, there's so many things in this music industry that cost money now. Like that is a hard thing because everything does cost money. You need beats, you need mixing and mastering, you need artwork done, you need videos done, you need promotion. All that shit costs money. Now, some of it doesn't if you have homies who do it, or
Yeah.
if you know how to do it yourself,
Yeah.
or if
Yeah.
you have relationships. So I have on the beat side, that's one place I've been really lucky. I got two of my best friends are amazing producers, and we
Oh, there you go.
have agreement. We're working together for the future, where we're going in it hand in hand, and we're splitting our profits with each other in order to get where we're going. You know what I mean? So it's no upfront cost because we're both just investing our time into this,
Yeah.
and then we share the profits, kind of. Um, so I think that's kind of one thing, one way of doing it, where you're not really letting too many hands into the pot. It's more, but you have to be willing to fucking invest if you want to keep these hands out of the pot. Money's got to come from somewhere. The startup money's got to come from somewhere. So it's either you or someone else. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about that. Like, did you just, as a teacher, were just saving and investing your paychecks into music? And then now, how are you able to do it full time without having a steady, I mean, you might have a steady income, but you know what I mean? Like
That's
that W-2 bi-weekly check. Like, how as
what
an
I was.
artist are you
I
surviving?
still have I still have a 9 to 5. I still have a day job right now.
Wait,
It's just
what?
been
What do you do?
right. I work at a. This is hella funny that it says I work at a record label.
Oh, okay. I saw the LinkedIn and I was confused. I was like, this must be from like years ago.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I work at a record label as the operation manager at a record label. Not that they don't do hip hop music, so it's not my exact same realm, but it's a job that's in the same field that I'm in. You know what I mean?
That's fucking
Um,
hilarious. I did
but
not know that.
I mean, like honestly, that would be one of my big. There was so right when I stopped teaching, I
Yeah.
stopped working except for music. Like there was
Mhm.
like 2 years there where I was just doing music in order to make my money,
Okay.
and I was making it by, but I didn't have investment money.
Mhm.
Like I was surviving, but I couldn't put out the quality of product that I wanted to put out.
You couldn't, yeah, you only could eat and pay the rent, but you couldn't really get a better
Right,
video, right? You couldn't go pay
right.
someone to promote your stuff on YouTube or something, right? So,
Exactly. So like I was like, oh, so at first it was like, oh, this is so fucking cool. I've never bought groceries and paid my rent with rap money. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, if I want to level up, like I need level up money. Like I need any good business. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Any business started with a huge investment, or not a huge, an investment. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you have to put in money before you start making money back.
Yeah.
And so I got a job again for the past whatever 4 or 5 years. I've been working in different ways, not to pay my rent, but more so to have investment capital
Yeah,
into my
yeah.
music. You know what I mean? And that's freed me up hugely to be able to do the things that I want to do. And I think I would very much encourage people, until you have like music is making twice what you need,
More.
yeah, you know what I mean, more than twice what you need, you should just have a day job, like, or a part-time job or something, because that honestly now allows me to use my music money to reinvest my music money into myself, while my day job money can keep the rest of my life going. And it's just allowed me to really level up my career in a way that a lot of my friends who kind of gave up on their day job shit and were like, oh, I'm just going to be a musician. And then at a certain point, they were like, fuck, I can't afford being a musician. Okay, I'm going to give up on being a musician and I'm just going to go work a day job, you know?
Yeah, dude, you're speaking
So I've
facts
seen a
right
lot
now.
of people kind of drop off over the years. This idea of like, oh, I got to go deal with real life now. And for me, I've been like, well, shit, I've kind of been dealing with real life and this the whole time. And that's what's allowed me to have the time that I needed to level up.
I try and preach that all the time. Keep your 9 to 5 as long as you can, because
Right.
even if like that money, that extra income could be invested towards what you really love. Like, and for me, that was kind of the thing, right? Like, music was very important. And I was like, let me go, you know, I'm gonna find this time to quit my job and just move to LA and go do music, right?
Right.
That's the dream, right? And then I had my son. I have a 2-year-old son, and I was like, I can't just do what? I can't just become a musician and leave my job. Like, how am I gonna? I'm not gonna be that father to him, right? Like, and so I was like, I'm gonna keep my job and I'm just gonna do music. And if it blows, it blows. If I reach 100 people, 1,000 people, and they like it, then fuck it. That's what we gonna rock with. I'm gonna get that same 1,000 in a concert, and we gonna have fun. And like, as I started to see my shows grow, I was like, yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm not leaving this day job, because then I'm just gonna put all my eggs in one basket, and that's not who I am. Like, I need to, you know, diversify myself and have, for me, it's about stability. Because growing up, that's not something I really had, right? Like, you know, my father was in and out, and that's not who I wanted to be. And so stability in a family was like number one. It became a number one priority for me. And so,
for sure,
like that, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, leaving the 9 to 5 is just like not an option. I mean, it's an option, but like, it's
not an option for you.
It's a choice. It's more of a choice, right? Like, I want to be able to choose when and why I'm leaving, and not just force myself to leave because I want to do this.
Right, for sure. And I mean, I think it's something that, you know, that I've been part of, you know, I just got married recently, like you said, and it's a lot of, you know, our goals. Sure, we like a lot of people ask me what my goals are with music, right? That's only one part of my life goals. My life goals are bigger than that. It's a big part of my life goal. My life goal is to be able to provide music for myself and provide money for myself and my family off of music for the rest of my life. Yes. But other parts of my life goal also involve having a partner that I love and care about, who is going to be with me, having a family, being able to provide for my family, being able to spend time with my family. All those things are also my life goal. Having good relationships with my friends and my parents and coworkers, those are also life goals that I have. Being able to sleep at night without fucking hella guilt on my head, or, you know what I mean? Another life goal I have. So yeah, music is one of them, and being a successful rapper is one of them. But if I just do that and negate and forget all these other things,
you're not
gonna
happy.
feel like shit. I might be a rich rapper, but I'm gonna feel like shit. And my goal is happiness in life, which also includes being a rich rapper, hopefully. You know what I mean? But it includes these other fucking things too, you know?
No, that's huge. And and it's crazy, because a lot of people, when they actually become the rich rapper or rich whatever entrepreneur, they talk about those things. Like, they talk about, you know, I wish I would have had more times with my friends and family. I wish I wouldn't have just focused so much, right? Like, you never hear someone just like, I wish I would have went harder.
Right.
Who has already made it, right?
Who made it? Yeah.
You don't hear Jay-Z say like, I wish I was in the studio way more than I was.
Right.
Like, no. Like, so Yeah, that's big. That's
It's
big.
it's a hard balance. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, you know how they say you can't have your cake and eat it too? Like
Yeah,
sometimes I feel like I'm asking for that because I'm like, yo, I want to be a successful rapper and I want to have a successful family from a, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
and
yeah.
like sometimes it feels like we don't get to have it all. But you know, like I was saying to you, I think a lot of that is also just the mental the restrictions we put on ourselves. Like, why can't we have it all? Why can't you have a family that feels well taken care of and loved, and also go pursue these crazy wild dreams that you have for yourself? Like this, in my opinion,
Absolutely.
this is something we should be able to do both. You know?
Absolutely. 100%. Well, that's cool. So those are kind of ways you're building wealth um through the music business. Are you investing outside of it? Like, are you interested in stocks, other side hustles, like real estate, you know? How else are you?
I'm not right now. I played around with stock shit a little bit when everything crashed at
Bitcoin.
the beginning of the
Yeah.
pandemic. I was no, not even Bitcoin, dude.
Uh,
I was actually doing good. I was fucking with airlines at the beginning of the
oh
pandemic.
yeah, yeah.
Airlines crashed like a motherfucker, and we knew they were gonna have to come back at some point.
Yep.
And I got too. It was my first time playing around with stocks, so I got too much. Like I will put money in and out, and I should have just sat
Just bro,
everything like
long term.
right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I made a cool little bit amount of money, but then I took when I cashed it out, then everything jumped back up, and I was like, all right, there's no reason to put it back in. So I just
Facts.
took my little profit and
Yeah.
got out. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
no, like in terms of my goal has always been to put myself on as a rapper in you know, public figure myself, and then from there do these other business ventures. And like honestly, my dream would be to get to be on, have a label of my own, or be on that side where I'm managing or promoting or putting on other artists as well. But I don't, that's a hard thing to develop. It like having, I worry sometimes that like trying to start a label while also trying to start my own rap career while also trying to put on these other rappers, that's a lot to do at once. My vision is kind of like to get myself where I need to be, where then I can use my name and my relationships to then put other people on, to then put
Dude,
this label.
I want to touch up on that. Very important, because that is something I wanted, right? Like, is I was like, all right, I want to label myself as a musician, which is why my Instagram is still Juwan Rohan Music. Everything is Juwan Rohan Music, right?
Yeah.
And I have 15 different businesses, but
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, I want people to refer to me as a musician. Then I started realizing when I was doing other stuff that people would recognize me way quicker, right? By the other stuff. So it's like, oh, like, you know, yeah, like your thing says music, but I also see that you know, you're a realtor, or you're a notary, or you do the podcast, bunch of shit, right? And then I started realizing that everything that I'm doing outside of this, like, all right, so you got the musician in the core, and then you have a big circle of like everything else. I started realizing that everything else is bringing the circle closer to people realizing I'm a musician, because now I'm doing these interviews, all right, and now people are gonna, you know, follow me, check me out. Now they're gonna see that you're a musician. Now what do they do when they see that? Oh, what kind of music does he do? Let me look it up. Boom. Right? So it's like all these fucking other things are bringing people to my music, and now it's like even growing faster than it would be if I was just a musician. So that's why what you brought up is super important, because you're like saying you want to, you know, start a music label, go do these other things. What if you did that? You bringing on other musicians, now you got little minions running around bringing people back to your business, to your, now they're like, who's the CEO? Oh, J.Lately. Oh, hey, he's a musician. He's been a musician for a long time. Boom, let me check his music out. So it's almost like a business play, right?
Yeah, no, I see that for sure. For sure. I see how I see how that could work for sure. Yeah.
Dude, I love business and I love marketing, and I just love networking. Like, I mean, if you can't tell, but I love networking. And so that's why I always trying to think of like ways to help grow, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, networking is one of my least favorite parts of the whole shit.
You're in the industry to network.
I need people like you around me, bro.
Yeah, bro. I got you, man. Anything you need. I like have a passion for it, and that's honestly that's what made people kind of draw towards the music, is just because like, oh, like they realize, oh, Juwan, like he, you know, he's cool. Like his music must be cool, right? Like, like I make music very similar to you, where it's like personal. It's not like the clubby music. I'm not at the high Andre Nicotina spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also not at the locksmith spectrum, right? I'm
Sure.
like in between, and it's like personal stuff, and like I love stories. So like any story that I think of, I'm like a writer, right? Like I think
Yeah.
each song is like a film, and I love
Uh-huh.
those type of
Yeah,
stories.
yeah.
So cool,
For
man.
sure, man.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming up here, man. For real, man. I mean, shit, we had to reschedule like twice or something.
Bro, I promise you, I'm not usually this flaky, or you got the
Yeah.
worst side, you got the worst experience with me, you got the worst side of me. I've just been all over the place these past few weeks, man, trying to get this album done, these next two albums basically
Yeah.
done
Nah,
and
that's cool,
locked
man. I'm
in.
excited to hear, and I've been, like I said, I've been following you for a while, and when I heard you on the homie Jared's podcast, High Score 510,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, how the fuck did you get him? And then he told me, and he was like, hook you up, and I was like, yeah, man, I like really been a fan for a long time. And then when I saw you start dropping music with Dizzy Wright, like Dizzy Wright, I've been a huge fan of since
Me
like
too, man.
2011, 2012. Like I remember in college when I first went to Colorado,
Uh-huh.
the freshman year, he had a concert show in Denver. We drove like an hour and 15. I brought my roommate. I was like, dude, you got to listen to his music. Like, trust me. We go to
Yeah.
this sketchy ass Colorado place. Like, I'm talking straight hillbillies, and like, I'm like, what the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like one of three black people in there.
Yeah.
And it was with Snow the Product, who's also
Uh-huh.
dope as hell. And
Yep.
I forgot there were some other people. And Snow the Product opened up, and then Dizzy Wright was supposed to come on. As he's walking out to come on stage, there was a stabbing. Some people just start fighting in the bar, stabbing.
Fuck.
Some dude dropped to the floor. Everyone ran out. Dizzy Wright couldn't perform. That was the one
Damn,
time I
man.
had a chance to see Dizzy Wright perform. And ever since then, I've been like trying to, but I've just been busy, and I was so mad, bro. So when I saw you
That's
start
nuts.
dropping songs with him, I was like, oh my God, playlist, add to the playlist. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nah, he's someone just like I've been a fan of his music for so long. So being able to develop a relationship with him and start
That's
doing
so
music
cool,
together
man.
has been
Yeah.
super dope. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool, man. Yeah. Like do you know who J.Zack is?
I don't think so.
Look J.Zack up. I had him on the podcast, and like I've been a fan of his music for a very long time, and being able to interview him and like get to know him, and now like we talk, and it's like fuck, dude. Like I said, networking. You're building
Right.
relationships with these people, and it's super cool. It's super cool, like feeling and
For sure. No, there's been so many experiences where I'm like at this point where I'm just like, damn, like I can't believe I just sat and had breakfast with that person, or I can't believe that like me and this person just made turkey sandwiches together, or like
we just had coffee, like some random.
Like, holy shit, I was just shopping for like fucking socks in Walmart with, so it's like talking about their family, you know what I mean? Like just shit like that is like crazy, you know?
Cool. Well, yeah, man. All right, we're gonna wrap up. I have the way I like to end the episode is with a segment called Guiding Conclusions, where I ask you a question that we haven't talked about previously, right? I always warn the audience of questions I'm gonna ask. This one, nah, it could be serious, funny, or just anything. Today's question is very simple. What is your favorite song that you wrote personally, and why?
Fuck, dude.
I know it's hard, bro. There's no favorite song. That's why I asked the question.
Right. I think one of them is a song called Run that's off my album Tuesday.
Bro, that's like your number one video on YouTube. It's like 106,000.
It's up there. Yeah.
And you're just running, rapping. Like how someone commented like, bro, I would have been out of breath.
Bro, that video there was no fake in that video. I did that. So it's a one take video, right? So you only get one shot at it. So we did it like 10 times because you're just like, all right, let's do it 10 times and then pick the best one, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was like, I think we added up, that was like a half a mile run that I ran for each take, you know what I'm saying? So by the end of that video shoot, I just ran 5 miles, just fucking like jogging up and down this like desert.
Get that workout in, man. That's how you get your breath control for performances.
Yeah, bro, I had 2 of the exact same shirts, so we had bought 2 of the exact same shirts. So every time I get sweaty, I just take the shit off, hang it up in the van,
smart.
put on it.
I wouldn't even have thought of that, bro. I would have been drenched.
Right. No, but that song, I think the reason I liked that song for me, writing that song is like, it just came so naturally. It was actually a song me and the producer Space Cadet, who's one of my guys I work with the most, Me and him were at his house in Reading, just like on a weekend. I traveled up to see him and
He
just
lives
try
in
to
Reading?
crank out. Not anymore, but he did. He grew
That's
up in Reading.
hilarious.
He's down in
My,
LA now.
my grandparents live out there. There's like nothing there. Why would a producer live in Reading?
Well, so he grew up, but it's because he grew up there, and then
Uh,
just like me, he came to Oakland. He came to the Bay
okay.
Area ready to get the fuck out of there when he finished
Yeah.
high school, and so that's where me and him linked up, was in the Bay. Then he
Cool.
moved back out there. Now he's in LA. But so I used to go up there on the weekends, and we try to crank out like fucking 10 beats, right?
Mhm.
And then I would come home and write. So we cranked out like 10 beats one weekend. The first weekend we were gonna start making the Tuesday album, like we cranked out like 10 beats. I brought him home. I wrote to like 3 songs, and I realized I was talking about the same thing on all 3 songs. Like I just had this, like the mind state that I'm in when I'm on that song Run, and where my mind's at and what I'm talking about. I couldn't get away from that. That's all I was thinking about. And so that's why I was writing on all 3 songs. I was writing about the same shit. And I was like, damn, this is like, I have a thought here that I need to complete before I can kind of move on. So I took all those songs and I combined them into one. And the beat that I loved the most was the one that we used for Run. And so it's just like, I just think that song really represents like a moment of where my mind was at, like very much so. Like it was like a strong moment of where my mind was at, and like being able to create that or share that kind of like, it feels like one of the times where I was able to really share that in the way I wanted to.
Dope, man. That's really cool. Yeah. Thank you for opening up. I'm actually I'll play that song after this on the episode. Don't sue me, all right?
Don't worry. I'm cool with everyone sharing my shit, man.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Cool, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming up here. You heard it here, guys. This is the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. My name is Juwan. We got J.Lately on here. Hey, let them know where they can reach you at.
For sure. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram.com/J.Lately, J-Lately. My website is justlatelymusic.com, and just fucking anywhere, Google, Apple Music, whatever. If you just write the letter J Lately,
you'll find it. All right, man. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good day.